Welcome to Hennett Minutes. I'm Greg Hennett, and today's talk is Out of the Depths. Our text is Psalm 130, verses 1 and 2. Out of the depths have I cried unto thee, O Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let thine ears be attentive to the voice of my supplications or beggings. This sounds like a serious plea. This is no normal daily prayer, no rote prayer, no habitual prayer. Something serious and deep is going on in this psalmist's life, but we don't know who it is. It's an orphan psalm. That means we don't have a title assigned at the heading of the psalm. I think it may be a David psalm. Here's why. Because David said this in Psalm 69, Save me, O God, for the waters are come in unto my soul. I sink in deep mire or deep mud, where there is no standing. I am come into deep waters where the floods overflow me. So twice he uses the word deep. And we know that's a David psalm. Well, now in Psalm 40, he says something very similar. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me, and he heard my cry. He brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. So here again, he speaks of the deep in the form of a pit. So what was David talking about in Psalm 69 and 40, and probably in our text, Psalm 130? Well, he's talking about the experience of going through the deeps of God or the depths of God. Today we want to talk about two things. What are these depths, and why do they come? Why does God allow them? Well, depths, first of all, are humbling. They're not exalting. They don't lift you up. They pull you down. They're not the mountaintop experiences. They're the valley experiences, the deep valleys of life. God takes you there. In these circumstances, your spirit drops. Your confidence is low. Your hands get weak. Your walk gets wobbly. Fear haunts you on every side. Imaginations of fear try to terrorize you when you're in the depths. What are some of the depths? Well, failure. You set out with a task or a ministry or a business, and it just falls in on you. And it's failure. You can't hide it. Or abandonment, where people walk away from you. Paul said, all they of Asia have forsaken me. And so there are times when God lets people just walk away. They don't help you anymore. And then betrayal. That's when close friends whom you have loved and fellowship with over a long period of time, suddenly something happens and they turn against you and they walk away. Then they come back and attack you. And they're estranged to you. Oh, betrayal is terrible. Then delay. You want God to do something. He's promised to do it. And you've been praying about it. And it's been a long time. The days go by, the weeks, the months, and the years. And you wonder if God forgot. That's delay. Then temptation. Well, these are circumstances where there's a particular temptation in your life, and it's there every day, every day. There's the temptation, the same temptation. You have to look away and turn your thoughts to God to overcome it. Or there's sickness and infirmity, where your body just breaks down, or you become sick and stay sick, and the sickness gets worse, and then people begin to misunderstand you and talk about you and whisper behind your back. Well, that's another low place, isn't it? That's another depth. And then there's weariness. You're working and you're trying to get caught up on your work, and every time you almost get caught up, and more work comes, and more work comes, and it just seems to flood in on you like waves. Or defeat. Someone defies you. They take you to court, and you lose. Oh my goodness. And you think the end of the world has come. It hasn't. Or troubles come, one trouble, then another trouble, and another trouble, again, like waves battering the bow of your ship. They just don't stop. There's one trouble and then the next. Or persecution, where someone or some group of people set themselves against you because of what you believe or how you live or your ministry. And they begin to harass you, and they're like dogs and hounds chasing a victim. They won't stop. These are some of the depths of life. You may be in them right now, or you may be in another form of the deeps. Why is God doing this? Why is he allowing it? Surely you prayed, oh Lord, stop this. Please change it. Help me. Lift me out of this situation. The psalmist said, out of the depths I have cried. Maybe you have cried unto the Lord, and so far nothing has happened. Well, if that's the case, then God's doing a work in you. You want him to work through you? Then let him work in you. No one has ever blessed your life except those in whom God has done a deep work. And perhaps he's preparing you to be one of those to bless others. Why does he leave us in the depths for seasons? Well, to create spiritual depth in us. You know, a shallow person, they just can't minister to you. They can talk the word, but it just goes right over your head. It doesn't impact you because it's not real in them. They've not gone through the depths. So by going through the depths, God's creating spiritual depth in you. In your heart, in your core, he's creating compassion. He lets you suffer to create compassion for others who suffer and the ability to minister to them. And then there is also insight. By going through the depths, you begin to have insight into other people's needs, discernment to help them. And then you have insight into the scriptures. You understand what the text is saying, and then behind that, what God's Spirit is trying to say to you or to someone to whom you're ministering. Spiritual insight is so valuable. And then you have insight on who Jesus is, what his purpose is, what it's all about in the Christian life, what God is up to in the church. Your insight grows because you've been in the depths with God. And your words begin to get deep. And when you speak to people, there is a deep connection. And they are not only ministered to intellectually, but their spirit is lifted and empowered by your words. Or your ministry. You pray for people and they're healed. There are signs and wonders and miracles that occur. Deliverances, lives are changed, families are changed, destinies are changed, churches are changed through you. Because spiritual depth has been created in you. Because you've let that happen. You haven't fought God in the depths. You've continued to trust and obey him as the psalmist did, as David did. That's where that deep ministry of David's word came from. It came from his depths. Spiritual power was created. So let me tell you today, if you're in the deeps, let God finish his work. Know what he's doing in you. Know that he took David through it and others before you. Don't quit. Continue to walk with him in the depths.